Earliest memory, I think, of TV programs probably was things like Watch with Mother.
Ren and Stimpy.
Why are things white men blacked up?
Forget Teletubbies. I loved Jack and Nori.
I can't quite remember an awful lot. It was a long time ago.
Pretending they were black men? I don't know.
Welcome back to No Ordinary Life, where ordinary people like Gavin,
Okay.
Julie, Anne, Andy,
Push that back.
April,
Okay.
Susanna,
It's really funny.
Spencer, Sarah, and B
I'm just painting pictures.
talk about their extraordinary lives.
What TV and radio programmes did I love when I was young?
TV or radio programs that I love.
When I was young, I used to like Jack and Nori. I mean, that's when I was really young.
It was a mixture between like
Andy Pandy and
I love Mr. Ben,
Transformers
preferred the Flower Pot Men,
and Care Bears.
Bill and Ben.
and I loved Sesame Street.
I can't quite remember an awful lot. It was a long time ago, after all.
Common Philo.
Anyone who didn't love Sesame Street probably has missed an education somewhere. But Sesame Street was a big hit.
There was always,
I liked Doctor Who, though the one with the maggots scared me.
on a Sunday lunchtime, there was Billy Cotton Band Show on the radio,
I liked The Twilight Zone.
which was really sort of,
I liked The Incredible Hulk,
I associated with roast beef and Yorkshire pudding.
Logan's Run,
Yorkshire puddings first, before the roast beef.
and I loved Tomorrow's World. Tomorrow's World was like,
There were the odd characters.
that was the internet of the time,
There was a Beryl.
to find out what was actually new, what was being developed.
I can't remember her name now. I should have known.
Because you must remember,
I can't think of it. But she was a comedian who seemed to feature on this Billy Cotton Band Show.
you know, watching programs that spoke about the future, like Tomorrow's World, was like, it was a big thing.
Educating Archie and,
It was like having the Encyclopedia Britannica.
characters like that.
There you go. I could go on, but I enjoy television.
What TV programs and radio programs did I love when I was young?
To be honest, I don't watch TV.
Well, I can tell you one for a cert,
When I was young, I don't have TV in my house.
because I was one of them, was the Ovaltineys.
I think in our village, there's only one house got TV.
And I can still to this day sing the tune we used to sing.
When my mum go to watch TV, I'll just cry at home because she's not home.
It was very nice pocket money because I did it every week for...
My mum used to listen to a radio, which I think is really annoying.
the age of 11 till about 12, 13.
I don't remember the radio. It just,
I also liked Radio Caroline,
we already probably sleep, but she had radio on.
Dick Barton's Special Agent.
And it's like in like series.
Used to listen to that.
I don't really pay attention, but always sometimes woman cries, sometimes shouting.
A lot of the time we used to have to do it under the bedclothes at the orphanage.
And she listened to them.
Muffin the Mule was another one we liked.
Yeah, but it's no TV, definitely not TV.
And Magic Roundabout.
So, but when I grow up a bit more, probably like Japanese cartoon.
That was wonderful, that.
Stay tuned.
Things like Thunderbirds,
Rugrats.
Round the Horn.
Cosby Show.
The top 40 every Sunday. I remember recording it.
I would record tape cassettes off pirate radio stations.
Benny Hill being chased off a cliff by naked women roller skating.
I'm going to touch a lot of people's souls with this one.
The conversation continues.
Earliest memory, I think, of TV programs probably was things like Watch with Mother.
I loved watching a TV show called What Now?
And then, of course, things like Thunderbirds
It was a weekend TV show for children.
came along, and that seemed to be quite revolutionary.
There was the presenter, and he had his sidekick,
Lone Ranger,
which was a puppet called Thingy.
William Tell, all of those.
I don't really know what he was. It could have been a dinosaur or an alien. I'm not really sure.
Kind of Robin Hood,
Loved that.
all of those typical.
Then I watched a lot of Power Rangers
Boys' Adventure
and a lot of Sailor Moon.
type programs.
So I liked fantastical fighting shows, I guess.
So growing up,
Television-wise,
I watched a lot of cartoons.
TV and radio was
Grew up on Rugrats,
such a different beast from what it is now.
Ren and Stimpy.
Racist TV shows, Bless This House,
because I grew up with my brother,
Hartley High.
the black and white minstrel show.
who is gay.
As you got older, more culturally, I moved to more black programs like Moesha, Sister Sister.
Which was basically men dancing,
And I'm pointing that out only because
blacked up.
Keenan and Kel.
it was very obvious from a young child.
God, some really racist TV.
Cosby Show.
He would very much like
Fresh Prince.
And then comedy was very challenging. At the time we laughed, it was very sexist.
So growing up, I was mainly on those.
all of the programmes that were aimed at girls.
Watching Benny Hill, which we loved, and Benny Hill being chased off a cliff by naked women roller skating.
So I sort of had to watch, because we only had one television.
70s and 80s, just disgusting, really. But I also remember things like
I had to watch all of this sort of girly stuff.
Morecambe and Wise, which I think might have stood the test of time. Very funny, Christmas time.
And then my stuff. So
watching that at the weekend, Blankety Blank with Terry Wogan.
It was a mixture between like Transformers and Care Bears.
You'd have the Generation Game with Larry Grayson, clearly a gay man, never really discussed.
I actually probably quite enjoyed the Care Bears in some ways as well. So that's maybe what I can remember.
Tell us your story.
Radio, later, I think. Comedy, Round the Horn.
Radio stations.
Would it get broadcasted? Probably not, but I thought that was good.
I'd always listen to the top 40 every Sunday. I remember recording it every Sunday.
Pop music wasn't really recognised so much then.
I listened to a lot of garage growing up, so we have tape cassettes back then.
Radio is really nostalgic to me because we constantly had Radio 4 on in the background.
Radio Caroline was the one really that impacted you most.
I would record tape cassettes off pirate radio stations.
With modern day tunes,
I think it was like 91.5 or something like that back in the day, or 91.6.
Discovered the Goon Show.
It was only through my teens.
Like the surrealness of that.
I still listen to The Archers.
It was recognised at BBC.
I love listening to Radio 4 because I learn things.
Radio 1, Radio 2 and so forth.
It's just a very comforting thing for me to have on in the background.
Catch up on the latest episode and subscribe.
Now, when it comes to radio,
how important was pirate radio?
I'm going to touch a lot of people's souls with this one.
It was the best thing.
Radio Luxembourg and Radio Caroline. Period.
It had the best garage music.
And this was from a time
I grew up on like Heartless Crew.
When UHF radio was in mono.
Going backwards.
The black and white TV.
Garage Essentials.
But the radio was in mono, so there was no stereo.
They were literally...
People were issued little stickers to put on their radios.
The group of Garage Essentials were from New Cross.
When they brought in UHF, ultra high frequency, they called it.
Which is where I was growing up at the time.
You'd be walking on your way to school and you'd hear...
It was important because it just...
And you would know whether it was a hit or not.
All the clubs were playing it and you just wanted to be in with the crowd at the time.
And be dancing down the street to it. So it's come a long way to now we've got our AirPods.
Next time.
If you were to ask me, right, as a brother, right, if you ask me what major event was I at?
I remember the JFK assassination.
So I was in Koh Lipai in Thailand when the tsunami come.
The banner headline, World War III ?
Princess Diana passing away.
Those who lived through it, you know instantly.
When Nelson Mandela came to Brixton.
This changes everything.
No ordinary life. Thank you for watching.
Is sex important? Well, in my youth, I would have said yes. But certainly not now. I think it's exaggerated a lot.
Subscribe to keep the conversation going. And don't forget to ring the bell.